Here we go. Back again. Alright? And today it is the done previously fought syndrome. And this is the 12th episode of the syndrome. But yeah, you will only find 11, including this episode, because the Fought Police at YouTube, well, they fucking went and removed it. And it is, of course, for your own safety. Right? Sure. Why not? And the syndrome, of course, is always a dead giveaway, because the powers that be, if you like, they use phrases like "than previously fought" to fit their agendas. And speaking of agendas, well, this one here, which is of course COVID-19, well, yeah, this agenda, it has the fucking syndrome big time, right? It is absolutely riddled with the fucking syndrome, and it is a classic case this week of how they use things like the syndrome. As you can see, 5 days ago, chance of catching COVID from surfaces very small, scientists claim. Right, so last week, this is what we were being told, that the chances of catching COVID-19 from surfaces less than previously thought. Scientists claim, and that was Tuesday, 6th of October. So if the scientists claim it, then it must be true. But of course, science is never right, because it always fucking changes, right? To suit who though? That's the question. And today, the BBC, COVID-19 virus survives on some surfaces for 28 days. So, as you can see, it's all fucking change. The virus responsible for COVID-19 can remain infectious on surfaces such as banknotes, phone screens, and stainless steel for 28 days, researchers say. Right, so the scientists before obviously missed something. Or has the COVID, has it mutated, right? It then goes on to say, the findings from Australia's National Science Agency suggests SARS-CoV-2 can survive for far longer on surfaces than previously thought. Right, so which fucking is it then? But yeah, as you can see, banknotes it mentions, and phones, well, they will soon be out the window. But of course, we do know where it's heading with the phone, and that is to an implant, for sure, fucking straight up. It then says previous laboratory studies have found that SARS-CoV-2 can survive for 2 to 3 days on banknotes and glass, and up to 6 days on plastic and stainless steel, although results vary. Right, so again, they don't show us the other varied results, but yeah, there you go. Again, they seem to be going for banknotes and phones and anywhere that has a stainless steel surface. But it doesn't end there, and it goes on. But the latest research from Australian agency CSIRO found that the virus was extremely robust. Right, surviving for 28 days on smooth surfaces such as glass found on mobile phone screens, and both plastic and paper banknotes when kept at 20 degrees Celsius, which is 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about room temperature, unless you live in Scotland and don't have any heating, right? And then it'll be about fucking -2. But it then says, the study's authors said the ability of SARS-CoV-2 to persist on stainless steel at cooler temperatures could explain outbreaks of COVID-19 at meat processing and cold storage facilities. Right, so again, as we do know, they are targeting meat and meat producing facilities, if you like. They basically want to do away with anybody that produces meat because, like we do know, they want everyone eating the fucking Bill Gates lab meat that Bill Gates is cooking up in his fucking lab, straight up. It then says other reasons previously suggested include close working conditions, cold and damp environments, and the need to shout over noisy machinery. Right, so yeah, they will be going for places that are cold and damp, and of course noisy machinery. So yeah, like at the football, there won't be any singing if they ever let us back into the fucking football ground. I won't be holding my breath, that's for sure. And it then says the CSIRO researchers also say their findings support previous research suggesting the virus can survive on fresh and frozen food. Right, sure, why not? But yeah, going by that, I would imagine that they will eventually go for smaller businesses that hand out food or sell even food, a catering business, unless it's COVID sufficient, should we say, which the government will obviously set the bar for. And I'd imagine a lot of businesses won't be able to jump that bar that is set by the government. So a lot of them, if they're not finished already, they will, by the sounds of it, going by this, soon be on their way fucking out, unfortunately. And as you can see, it says at the end, the World Health Organization says there is currently no confirmed case of COVID-19 transmitted through food or food packaging, but it does list a number of precautions you can take to avoid cross-contamination. So as of yet, there is no confirmed case, but I would imagine that will change, right? So watch this space. And I did see this from USA Today. About 75,000 more Americans died from COVID-19 pandemic than, previously thought. And this is actually one that happens everywhere. It's the same headline, but a different place, right? And again, that's a dead giveaway. It's a red flag, if ever. The coronavirus pandemic may have caused tens of thousands of more deaths in the spring and summer than previously thought, a new study says. Sure it does. But of course now, everything is COVID now. If you get coronavirus, test positive for coronavirus, and then get a paper cut 2 weeks later, that will be long COVID, right? It won't be a paper cut, it'll be long fucking COVID. This is how bad it is. Everything is now COVID. Things like superbugs in hospitals, they're gone now. That's COVID now, right? So anything is now fucking COVID. That is the way it's going. And I did see this about Zika. Zika epidemic was more widespread than thought, and that's by a study, so it must be true. But yeah, Zika is back in the news, so could we see it returning, right? But we will leave COVID-19 for the time being. But of course, fear not, it will be back in the fucking syndrome, and that there is no doubt about, because like I said, it is riddled with the syndrome. And I seen this as well 4 days ago. Hospitality job losses will be far higher than expected. Right, so who exactly was expecting it? Because everybody here knew months ago, like we have said, that I mean, it's sad. It's a sad state of affairs, but the hospitality and tourism industries in the UK, they're finished. They are fucking dead. I shit you not. And it looks like meat industries and catering outlets will be next for the chop, if you pardon the pun. But yeah, unfortunately, it looks like they will be next. And of course, cash, as we know it, that will eventually be fucking finished, and it will be the cryptocurrency, which of course will then be the chip for sure, the implant. That's the way it's heading. And I did see this today, and it was in the syndrome. Would you believe it? As you can see, it's from Inverse. Two chemicals may shape human perception more than, yep, previously thought. So what's this then? Well, for decades, scientists have known dopamine and serotonin are involved in regulating mood, learning, motivation, and decision making. Wow! But the new findings published Monday in the journal Neuron suggest dopamine and serotonin are profoundly influential on human perception and behaviour, far more than previously thought. Right, sure. And of course, when I seen this, the first thing I thought of was social media, right? Because that is where you get dopamine and serotonin. That's what they offer. That's what the Facebook drug basically is. And that's what dopamine is. It's a drug. So you're always sort of looking for your next fix. And I straight away thought of an interview that I will share. And yeah, it pretty much says it all. And this is a CEO, basically one of the key players on making Facebook. So have a look.
I want to bring us back to the point that you were making about exploiting consumer behavior in a consumer internet business. You said that this is a time for soul searching in social media businesses, and you were part of building the largest one. What soul searching are you doing right now on that?
I feel tremendous guilt. I think we all knew in the back of our minds, even though we feigned this whole line of like there probably aren't any really bad unintended consequences. I think in the back, deep recesses of our minds, we kind of knew something bad could happen. But I think the way we defined it was not like this. It literally is a point now where I think we have created tools that are ripping apart the social fabric of how society works. That is truly where we are. And I would encourage all of you, as the future leaders of the world, to really internalize how important this is. If you feed the beast, that beast will destroy you. If you push back on it, we have a chance to control it and rein it in. And it is a point in time where people need to hard break from some of these tools and the things that you rely on. The short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops that we have created are destroying how society works. No civil discourse, no cooperation, misinformation, mistruth. And it's not an American problem. This is not about Russian ads. This is a global problem. So we are in a really bad state of affairs right now, in my opinion. It is eroding the core foundations of how people behave by and between each other. And I don't have a good solution. My solution is I just don't use these tools anymore. I haven't for years. It's created huge tension with my friends, huge tensions in my social circles. If you look at my Facebook feed, I've posted maybe 2 times in 7 years, 3 times, 5 times. It's less than 10. And it's weird. I guess I kind of just innately didn't want to get programmed. And so I just tuned it out. But I didn't confront it. And now to see what's happening, it really bums me out. Like, think about, like, there were these examples where there was a hoax in WhatsApp where in some, like, village in India, people were, like, afraid that their kids were going to get kidnapped, etc. And then there were these lynchings that happened as a result, where people were, like, vigilante running around. They think they found the person, and I mean, seriously? Like, that's what we're dealing with. You know, imagine, like, when you take that to the extreme, where, you know, bad actors can now manipulate large swaths of people to do anything you want. It's a really, really bad state of affairs. And we compound the problem, right? We curate our lives around this perceived sense of perfection because we get rewarded in these short-term signals, hearts, likes, thumbs up, and we conflate that with value and we conflate it with truth. And instead what it really is fake, brittle popularity that's short-term and that leaves you even more, and admit it, vacant and empty before you did it. Because then it forces you into this vicious cycle where you're like, what's the next thing I need to do now? Because I need it back. Think about that compounded by 2 billion people. And then think about how people react then to the perceptions of others. It's really bad. It's really, really bad.
It sounds like you're taking deep personal responsibility also in being a part of it.
I kind of, look, I did a great job there, and I think that business overwhelmingly does positive good in the world. Where I have decided to spend my time is to take the capital that they rewarded me with and now focus on the structural changes that I can control. I can't control that. I can control my decisions, which is I don't use this shit. I can control my kids' decisions, which is they're not allowed to use this shit. And then I can go focus on diabetes and education and climate change. And that's what I can do. But everybody else has to soul search a little bit more about what you're willing to do, because your behaviors, you don't realize it, but you are being programmed. It was unintentional, but now you got to decide how much you're willing to give up, how much of your intellectual independence. And don't think, oh yeah, not me, I'm fucking genius, I'm at Stanford. You're probably the most likely to fucking fall for it. Because you were fucking checkboxing your whole goddamn life. No offense, guys.
None taken.
So, yep, there you go. And that is from the fucking horse's mouth, right? And yeah, you would have heard him saying at the end, towards the end of the video, that people are being programmed, right? And he ain't fucking joking either. That is what it does, right? That's what they've used social media for. And they have influenced people's behaviour and actions, possibly even their thoughts, right? So it's like it's basically MK Ultra, let's face it. And he even said that his kids won't be on things like Facebook. So yeah, mine won't be either. And I did see that interview a few years back. But yeah, Facebook has destroyed society as we once knew it. Well, that's gone now. Of course, everything is heading into the fucking virtual world. Unless, of course, we can stop it, right? But just finally, for today, I mentioned in a video, I think it was last week, I can't really remember which one it was, but it was this tie here that was on Donald Trump. As you can see, a photo of Trump and Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, right? Good buddies, of course. But I then spotted it on Biden at the debate, right? Which was interesting. But the tie saga continues. Because as you can see, the other day, I spotted it on this dude. And this is Rishi Sunak, or whatever his fucking name is. A criminal, straight up. and should probably be done for treason. But yeah, he now has the tie. And does that mean that he is being lined up to replace Boris Johnson as PM in the UK? That would not surprise me. But yeah, it goes to show again that this guy here is a fucking Freemason. And I'm sure that that will not come as a surprise to anyone, right? The Freemasonic societies, well, they control politics, right? The whole lot from the top down, it is Freemasonically controlled, if that even makes sense. Anyway, I will be back on Wednesday, right? So I will catch you then. And that is about it. Bye-bye.